Let us now talk about the what of scope management. Firstly, the goal of scope management is to ensure that all the necessary work is completed to achieve project goals. It is also important to ensure that anything that is outside the boundaries of agreed work is not performed, because scope creep has been the downfall of many a project. Next, let's understand that there are two complementing aspects of scope. One is product scope, which comprises the functions and features of the product or service that you are seeking to create through the project. The other is project scope, which is the actual work involved in realizing the agreed product scope. So product scope drives project scope. Completion of product scope is measured against the product requirements, whereas project scope is measured against the project management plan, the project scope statement, and the associated work breakdown structure. We will look at some examples to illustrate product scope and project scope in the next slide. Here are some examples to show the difference between product scope and project scope. Take a look at the first one. Ability to interface with legacy financial systems. That's a characteristic of the product that you are building and hence is part of product scope. In the next column, you can see the work implications in addressing this product scope element, such as interface definition, whether the interface is batch or online, the frequency of updates if it is batch, handling exception conditions, testing the interfaces, and so on. All these work items comprise the project scope associated with the product scope element. Next, you can see that project management is part of project scope and not product scope. It is not an attribute of the product that you are building. It is a much needed work component in achieving product scope. Take a look at the remaining examples and see the classification as elements of product scope and project scope. As we said earlier, an item of product scope will invariably map to project scope. One point to note is that we commonly use the term scope without any prefix, product or project. Based on the context, it should be clear whether you are referring to a product attribute or to the work involved. Sometimes I have seen people use product requirement to refer to product scope and just scope or scope of work to mean project scope. You can use terms that are familiar to you and your project stakeholders, as long as there is clear and common understanding of what they mean.